All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're about to scroll into the final game of our first semifinal here. Everything on the line, you know, to get to tomorrow, guarantee yourself at least $18,000. Keep yourself in the running for that first place prize of $450,000. It's dramatics. It's intense, high pressure. The heartbeats, I'm sure, are up there. Hosanna and Yaken are currently in the least desirable positions right now. Hosanna with 5, Yaken with 6 on the points. I want to ask you guys real quick, though, before we get into this. You know, we're talking about, you know, somewhat non-conventional ideas or strategies that we maybe haven't seen, you know, talking about different, you know, different elements in your arsenal to pull out to try to really make something happen. What's the most likely unconventional thing we might see going into this next game, if anything? It's okay to say no, nothing unconventional.
I think I'm going to say God Divinity again. We saw that last game, but I think since there's a little bit less of the 4 human mage builds, which includes 6 mages a lot of the time, it actually lets them come into the metagame, and they're really good against these physical damage dealers.
I don't think we're going to see anything that we haven't seen
Yeah.
before. Most of the time when we see something quite new, it's either high rolling, like an early 2-star God of Thunder.
Or will we see Feather again, right?
I mean, I doubt it. That was a very off-chance second place
Assassins
by Feather.
again?
No.
All right. No. All right. Well, without any further ado, I'm excited to see how this unfolds. But first, let's tune into Monty and hear what he has to say.
So for Chuck, I would say keep high rolling. Show that you're not only the best high roller in North America, but the best high roller in the entire world. And for Shredded, just keep playing like you're playing. You did really good in our group, so you'll probably make it out if you keep playing like that.
You can't beat me.
Pretty accurate. Shredded's doing pretty well on the leaderboard. Not at the very top, but certainly within the running. And he may not be one of the most high-rolling players, but he's certainly, his style is safe, and that's what you want going through the semifinals. May not be what you want in the grand finals, but nonetheless, we have one more round, and it's all about just getting the top 4 here. I do like how Monty was calling out to Chuck, telling him to high roll.
Smart advice.
Smart advice, yeah. High roll, for what you guys, if you guys out there don't know, it's basically a term used for being lucky with your rolls.
Yep.
It's not a decision that you can make. It just happens to you. But what's important, though, is that the good players understand the opportunities that they're given, able to turn them into something even bigger, and that's a lot of items of a 1 round for Azu. Can we look at Shredded's items? Does Shredded have items?
For once.
Because for once, does Shredded actually have items?
He does.
He does. He has 3 of them. Okay.
And Jaquan high rolling pretty well here. Let's have a look at Jaquan. I thought I saw a Hell Knight as well there, having one of his item. Actually, Jaquan, if he has a Frantic Mask, going into Knights would be so nice with a Silverblade Knight.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Knights contested so much that you need to, I guess, second guess that decision. Of course, if suddenly it is contested, you know, having the ability to pull off of it early is certainly good, but it shouldn't freak anyone out, I suppose is what I'm trying to say.
No, yeah, I don't think so either, for sure. And we have Chuck here going with a God of War start alongside a few warriors. I actually found an early werewolf, which is one of the strongest units to begin with. Creating those 2 extra units is so powerful in the early game.
Yeah, it really punishes the people who are loose streaking, or especially not so much open forting, because the summons don't happen before the death happens, but still the loose streaking, and if you're weak in the lobby, 2 werewolves. This is going to be even bigger. That's even more units to deal damage.
For sure. Yeah, also werewolf is especially strong in the early game, as summoned units kind of they scale a little bit worse than other abilities. But if you summon units this early, they're going to be very strong. Like 2 wolves is almost as strong as that level 1 type of witcher or whatever.
Okay, I mean that's a pretty high mark to hit, but nonetheless, we'll see how Chuck fares against Bomberin with the 2-star Skybreaker. The Goblin synergy seeming to be good for Bomberin, the Mech synergy as well, but the Wolf summons. Yeah. Adding a number of units may not be super successful, and
actually the Wolf changed his target for the last second against a Soulbreaker.
Yeah, that's not good.
For a particular reason. So it leaves it on 1 HP, not going to finish up this. Tons of more damage. Chuck's going to lose this. And it's really a testament to how strong goblins are in the early game. That's what people do favor them over most other things.
Yeah, it was Bomberin at level 4 beating a level 5 player of Chuck. Chuck also the only level 5 player. I say that Bomberin now levels up to throw in an extra unit. Still waiting to see what unit that is. okay, maybe try to toss in a little bit of assassins, or we're gonna lose the swordman and bring in the venom.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're bringing in the Ripper. Even better.
Maybe you should lose the Heavenly Bomber and
Bam.
pull in the Venom. Have a little bit of a stronger min-maxing.
Two of us together equals one Bomberin. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, easy game. I hope they can let us bring in two
can
people to the next quarter.
Do they allow us to play in tandem? Each of us using one hand?
No, for sure, yeah. Bomberin, this is one of the strongest early game strategies you can actually have at level 5. The Goblin synergy, as we said, is really strong in the beginning. But it also has an assassin. If you combine that with two others, that's really powerful this early. There's a lot of ways to do it. You have Venom, Water Spirit, and Phantom Queen. They're all very good at in the early game since they deal tons of magical damage.
Yeah, I mean, assassins are not the best. They're actually in a really weak spot. Yeah. I think you would have to high roll your pants off and the lobby low roll in order to even consider winning with assassins.
Yeah.
But it is one of those compositions that can work very, very well in the mid game, and during that time you can utilize those win streaks that you're earning to transition to something once you hit the late game. Shake, though, a couple of assassins, but it's really just the Goblin option and the Dragon option.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to what we were saying there earlier, assassins at level 5 is definitely something that's great, but something you don't want to stick with. This is only a temporary thing. You don't want to invest money into it until the late game.
For a second, it looked like Shake may have had a chance in this, but no, fortunately for him, he is going to continue to lose this fight. Took out a couple of units with his Dragon composition to diminish the damage he's taking, but he's continuing on his loss streak. Shredded as well. This is a tie.
Draw. It's a draw.
That's that's unfortunate because, if I'm not mistaken, that's gonna break his loss streak.
To break a lose streak or a win streak, whatever he had. Yeah. For sure.
That's kind of the worst thing because you don't even get the single gold for winning the round. It's just literally the worst thing that can happen.
Yep.
But his board doesn't look bad right now. He has a level 1 Doom Arbiter, and so he may be using that as, I guess, a moment to say, hey, let's stop lose streaking and let's try and start win streaking. He's rolled down to 6 gold.
Doesn't feel like Shredded is ever considering continuing to lose streak. He just wants to save as much HP as possible every round. So and also Doom Arbiter is, I would say, the strongest 1-star unit before the legendary units. Super strong at level 1. There's tons of damage. His spell is also very, very powerful.
Yeah.
So to find and maybe Pirate Captain being some of the strongest units early.
Yeah, Pirate Captain's strength comes from its CC and I guess AoE ability, but in the early game, this is a single unit auto attacks. It's Doom. It's Doom, absolutely. Yeah. And so to find it this early should give a good little power curve to his board. Right now, though, Jinsu on a 5-round loss streak. Keep in mind, he's won a fair number of rounds in this group.
That's true.
But he came from a loss streak on a few of those as well. And we've seen multiple players win off of a loss streak, so this shouldn't worry anyone, I suppose. But this composition, it's in transitional period. It looks, though, looking at a sideboard, like he maybe wanted to go Warrior Hunter.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that. He hasn't really moved in any direction, definitely. Because as clear as this is that all of his units sells for the full amount so far, but definitely Hunter Warriors is the thing that is closest towards at this point in time. But if he all of a sudden gets like 3 dragons, like Venom Dragonite and Shining Dragon, you can buy all of them and just go into dragons instead, because you only really need them at level 1 to fully transition into them. And then as you move up to higher levels of those units.
Takes some damage from Shake, and he's dropping down to 59 HP onto round 10. It's not an awful HP point to be at, but still maybe a little lower than you might want to be at this point in time, especially because we've seen how bad it is to be on a big like health deficit in this event, in this competition. Bring in a couple of units, though, to try and win at least this neutral round.
Yeah, the 3 warriors plus 3 hunters in the back is going to deal tons of damage. It's going to be very easy for him to beat the rock golems. And maybe he felt like, oh, it's not going to matter that much. I don't need these units now that I've selected which route I'm going to go for. So I can put a level in there already, get a higher roll in the next round, because you do get higher percentages on better units at the higher level you are. So when he makes that decision, he thinks, I'm not going to hit my interest mark anyway, so might as well level up here.
Speaking of interest marks, looking around at the gold, no one, I mean, the highest is Shake right now at 40. Yep. We have a couple of people really rolling down to 0. Yaken seems to be rolling a little bit. He's down, he's only at 15 gold right now. He's able to get a couple of 2-stars on his Knights, and he is 100% going Glacial Knights at this point in the game. Dare I say, he is fully committed to that composition.
You may say that. That's totally fine by me.
I have your permission.
Yes,
thank you.
Definitely committed into that. I would have actually wanted him to play Evil Knight instead of Light Blade Knight. I don't like Light Blade Knight at all at 1 star. He must have tons of items on it. And also, I think one of the smart decisions here and one of the reasons, right, Frantic Mike makes a little bit more sense, but one of the reasons why he really pushed towards continuing to win is that we actually see another player still at 100% at level 10. So if he does get to, yeah, there's 2 players, but the one other player also at 100%. So if he does get to play against Boomerang, he wants the highest chance possible to be able to defend this streak. So there's going to be a bit of a fight between them. Boomerang also keeps his streak. Let's have a look at Boomerang, which also has a lot of money still.
Yeah, 39 gold. Yaken has rolled down a little lower. It's been a while since we've seen even one player, much less 2, stay at 100% this deep into a game. I say deep, it's only round 12, but it's been a lot aggressive on the previous rounds.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, this is really a fight of kind of a king of the hill situation between them here.
And who's going to lose first? Chuck right now, though. He's on a 7-round win streak, but at 65 HP, it was a heavy loss streak into a heavy win streak, but it looks like he's not going to be successful against Jinsu. Of course, Jinsu is coming in from the very bottom of the leaderboard right now. He is going to lose, though. Chuck going to be taking a little bit of damage, breaking his win streak. Looking at the streaks right now, Azu at 5, loss, Shake at 8, loss, Chuck at 4, loss. And then 8 and 8 for both, of course, the winning players.
Yeah, we're looking at Chuck here. He still has those 2 werewolf, moving into 4 beasts, I'm sure. Only looking for maybe a Razorclaw or a Unicorn at this point.
We have an opportunity, I'd like to look at Boomerang's unit. I want to see how strong he is going into, what is this, round 13 right now. This is an interesting build. We've seen it before, though. At least we've seen what this is leading into, which seems to be mages with, of course, the water spirit frontline.
Yeah, it seems like Boomerang and also the Japanese have been liking to go with water spirit frontline for the 6 mage build, and it's been very, very impressive actually.
It's nice.
It's also probably the reason why he's still doing so well. And if you can go in with a 100% win streak with mages from the get, I don't think there's a better situation you can be in.
The thing is, he already has 2 stars on the Water Spirit on round 13. He's well on track to find the 3-star. And we saw that, I think we both were in agreement that 3-star Water Knight, I believe on round 1 or 2 of this semifinals, was the reason why that composition won the game so soundly.
Yes, oh wow, that's fine. A Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight.
That's so big actually.
Dragon Mages with the Water Spirit. Love to see
Dragon
it.
Mages.
That's a great sitcom.
Yeah.
Actually, I lied. I for some reason I thought that there were 2 stars. It's actually only 2 1-star Water Spirits. So I got baited. Apologies for that one. But nonetheless, it's still a good start to this composition. Does pull them out because of the Pirate Captain, which I do agree with that decision.
Yeah, no, for sure. Pirate Cap's super strong at this point, and it also, not only does it have tons of HP and that CC to control your opponent so you can deal damage with the backline, it also has 10 armor, I think, at level 1. So it's exactly super tanky in the beginning to be able to protect your backline. And I would have actually wanted Boomerang to keep more of his units in the back and kind of corner in the Dragon Knight, because otherwise Dragon Knight moves first as he's a melee unit before he transforms. And you don't want him moving towards your opposing side of the board.
Looking at Shredded right now, he's in a 3-round win streak. I say that. Yep, back to Shredded. Still working on what direction he wants to take his units. It seems to be I guess it's a warrior hunter with a little bit of Egosis, and that's a composition that we've seen before, but on round 15, it seems that he is still not as far into developing this composition as you would have hoped. His health is good, his streak is good, but I wonder if he's not able to find the units that he needs in the next round or two, how strong he's going to be able to maintain.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's got to move away from some of his a little weaker units that is still retaining. It's still has that Evil Knight to have the Aggressive bonus, and I like that, but you definitely want to switch that out for a Soul Reaper, being a lot stronger as a unit, but also can combine with Venomancer for later. Also that Heavenly Bomber, maybe not the best, so probably don't want to move into Warrior. I would assume Warrior Hunters here. Does find that 2-star Werewolf, so that's pretty great,
that's good.
Actually.
That's good, yeah. We talked about how strong a 1-star Werewolf is. 2-star is, obviously, of course, even better, especially on round 16. This is basically the sort of, I don't want to say peak of its power, but this is right when it is like the strongest unit that it is.
For sure, yeah. As much as Werewolf at 1-star is really strong at round 4, round 15, 16, 2-star Werewolf is super strong.
Chuck right now, though, his composition is going to be a Warrior frontline, Mage backline, and the 2-star Flaming Wizard isn't actually doing a lot of damage. Bomberan's composition, though, of course, the win-streaking player, it's going to be a hard wall to break through, and a bit of damage. Shake as well, taking a lot of damage from Yaken.
Wow. Yeah, we could see Bomberan's already have found that 2-star Dragonite. At this point, he does indeed have a 2-star Dragonite.
Okay, that is huge. 2-star Water Spirit, though. Is this when you're going to pull up the Skybreaker?
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, 2-star. He does actually level up, puts in 6 mages instead. And the Water Spirit, yeah, I love this. Oh, no, this is not... Wait, hold on. Did I miscount? Yeah, that is 6 mages.
6 mages and then the 2 spirits. This is basically...
This is done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We win.
Yeah, we're done.
Bomberan, he's got it. He's got the whole thing in spades.
No, but his composition is definitely like at his peak right now, and everything else after this is definitely, I wouldn't call it fluff, but it's not as integral of a part of
it's not the core.
Right. Yeah, you can add like a pirate captain, you can add a storm shaman, for example.
Did you see the initial damage, the initial splash damage onto Yaken's units? It was huge.
Yeah, Shining Dragon with 6 mages is just unbelievable at this point.
The immediate Shining Dragon Kamehameha ability just loosens everything up, and then it's just Dragon Knight there to finish off the rest. Yaken, though, good job against defending himself against Shredded, going Glacial Knights, and a good track on that.
It's actually crazy that they're both at 100%, even at round 8. Or
yeah.
Yeah, 18.
They must have faced each other at least once, and obviously that means that they just traded when they did. Yeah. This is really, really big.
For sure.
Who did you face against?
I think this is our past. This is not the right battle statistics. Here we have a defense.
So the defense. He's won against everyone. How far back? Has he just never been...
didn't play against
They've never
Boomerang.
played each other.
And on defense, has played against Jiquen last round, actually.
So far, Bomberan has the stronger composition according to statistics. Yaken just has yet to face off against one of his own, but he might be losing against Shake. Shake, one of the players coming in from the bottom, must have found some sort of power breakpoint to break Yaken's streak.
Yeah, this is a typical dynamic we see when people are win streaking hard and losing hard, is that first off, they're losing, right?
Yes.
And when they're about to transition, they actually have to move in a lot faster because of the win streakers. And when they do, they will get a big upgrade to also be stronger, even stronger than the win streakers, and then they will use their money. And as I'm saying that, we actually see this insanely early helicopter with a Heaven's Gift even. So this is a super strong unit, especially with that 6 mages.
I'm hoping that Shake is able to find some other tank to add into this, whether it's a Water Spirit or it looks to be that he's going for at least a level 2 God of War, but still, this is a very good composition. We've seen this time and time again. The helicopter is, as you mentioned, a fluff piece thrown into the mage composition. Rolling into the backline, though, doesn't matter. The AoE damage is there. The Water Spirit, though, might have just ruined it, but going over to Chuck, he's going to be taking a lot of damage of his own against Shredded.
Yeah, it's almost going to be out here.
Shake does lose to Bomberan, and Chuck does lose to Shredded, so both players at the bottom are continuing to lose. I don't want to... Is it because Shake brought the helicopter away from the front line? Helicopter is not an awful tank, at least on round 19.
Yeah, it has tons of armor. I don't know. I think helicopter is excellent, right, as a magic damage unit with this combination. But then again, I don't know. Now that it's committed his item on the helicopter, you probably don't want to sell it. I don't think it's going to put in a tank.
It's Helicopter is good as a 9th unit in a mage composition, but it's about finding that tank and then leveling up to level 9 to slot it in. The Pirate Captain is there on the sideboard now, but Shake's perhaps waiting to level 2.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Or he's just saving money to go up to 9, I guess. That's what he's going to do. It's a little scary without an efficient tank, that's for sure. But yeah.
We're focusing a little bit, though, on the Shake. He is in second to last place, but Chuck, 5 HP, and this is a player that is a favorite to win this, has had a good couple of rounds, but another mage player, this one's not working, even as a Tortola Elder with a mana item, but it's not exactly working out. Subbing in another mage to complete the dragon bonus, but a level 1 Dragon Knight, this is definitely the worst mage composition we've seen.
For sure, and it does get a 6 mage in now, but does only have the level 1 Tortola Elder and the level 1 Dragon Knight and the level 1 Shining Dragon, and those 3 units are the most important units to get to level 2. Because they're gonna deal the major amount of damage.
Up against Shake now, who we were just looking at, who I believe also leveled up, and that's gonna be it for Chuck. Chuck goes out in 8th place. We'll see how well he's done this group. But Hosanna also takes a little bit of damage from Shredded. We're going to start removing more and more players. 2-loss streak for Hosanna. This composition, he actually is going Assassin. He's actually going Assassin. I love to see this, but I also hate to see this because I think Assassins are very, very weak, and we're going to see how far Hosanna can take this composition. To my eyes, though, it does not look super strong.
No, I agree. He really needs to find a way to get another Marine unit into this setup because he's facing a lot of mage players in this game, so that's going to be an integral part of him getting there. Also, yeah, he doesn't have a Razor Claw 2 yet, and he does really want that for the Lord of Sand to get the Beast bonus upgrade with those big crits becoming even bigger.
We see Shake continue to perform very, very well, demolishing him, as you said. We saw the Ghost Ship. He did level up to level 9, I believe, after round 1 or was it level 8? Either way, he leveled up enough to level 9. Yeah. Actually, that's an early level 9 for Shake, but nonetheless, he needs that to come back into this because his health is that low. He has very few options if he loses a round.
Yeah. No, for sure. Also, we can actually see also here only playing 7 out of 8 units. And I saw him having 7 out of 8 in last round also. Didn't actually, I think he missed putting in a unit last round. So a little bit of a small mistake there. Even completing his feather bonus with that, so big deal.
He's completing it, but it's with the level 1 Lightblade Knight. Lightblade Knight is one of the most contested units in the game, though, because of how strong Glacial Knight's in and the necessity to find the level 3 on it. But still, getting the level 2 feathered bonus could be enough, but Yaken here, one of the top players, his composition is strong as well, and I don't think Azu's going to be surviving this one. It's going to be a lot of damage.
Right, yeah, Azu just went for feathered again, and this time he didn't high roll.
He's not high rolling it
at all in the same way, and he's just going to get extremely punished for that. By the other players.
He beats Hosanna, but of course he's beating the assassin player though, so it's like the second worst child beating the worst child. It's not exactly something that you want to put up on your mantelpiece. Not the greatest.
Don't get too many children.
Don't get too what?
Many children. I'm gonna be sad for your second and your worst child.
Yeah, fair enough. I had a rough childhood growing up. I'm a little scarred, a little damaged.
All right, so we see Shredder here. A little bit of a better way to build the Hunter build instead of the Feather build. You get the Aegis bonus. It's easier to get the Marine bonus and the Warrior frontline, and even having the Beast bonus, which is super nice for your Hunter backline, deals tons of more damage. Gonna face Jiquen here, and I think it's actually gonna have a good setup here against him because Jiquen doesn't have those 3-star Knights yet to kind of overcome the Beast Warrior Hunter build.
Yeah. Actually, the Knight Shields didn't seem to be enough at this time. The 2-star Lightblade Knight, we've seen a Lightblade Knight solo for almost an entire board, but it was a 3-star with good items. 1-star, a 2-star, not exactly going to have the same ability, so Shredded is going to survive that round. Shredded's been one of those players this round who's been going back and forth on win streak and loss streaking, which unfortunately puts him in a position financially that it's unlikely he's going to be able to win this, but he's staying alive and he is staying in the competition.
Right. You can see here at the total gain of gold, Boomerang is leading by fair margin since he's the one who's had 100% HP this entire game.
Yeah.
Jiquan also has had a long win streak in this game, so no surprise there. And then we have actually, Chuck already lost, of course, but Hosanna has awful money as well, and does have very low life total. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him drop out here momentarily.
It's because he has to pay off those assassins. They are hired killers are not cheap.
That's true. That's true. I wish the hired killers were a little bit better at their job, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a black market industry. Who
Right.
what, are you gonna go to the FCC if they just run with your money? It's, you know, he knew the gamble that he was going into Assassins is my greater point. Bomberin right now though, bringing in God of Thunder, has the 6 mages as well as the dragon. This is a good comp. It's again, he's been top. I don't want to say top fragging because, well, it's a different game genre, but he's been leading the competition so far. He's gonna stay up there. His composition just gets better and better.
Yeah, no, it's looking really good for sure. Also, it's that God of Thunder early, so he doesn't have to play the Flaming Wizard at this point. So, hitting very well. Also, actually has an egg, and it's kind of early level 9. So, I think we're gonna see him get a level 2 God of Thunder without too much problem in this game.
See, Hosanna actually able to win his game, but Azu, he's going to go out. It's not going to be the assassin player out second. Shake also loses, so we're getting close to basically cutting down half the leaderboard. Shake, though, bringing in a 2-star Pirate Captain.
Finally, I might add.
Finally. I think he had the 1-star in, but he replaced it for the 1-star Marine Stalker.
I actually don't like his positioning at all.
No?
Because he has Dragonite in the front.
Yep.
So that's going to move as it's a melee unit before it transforms. Also, Troll Elder not in the current back, so it's going to get a little bit worse of a ult off most of the time. And it's since Dragonite is a melee unit, and we're going to see it here, it's going to move forward, which is going to leave a spot for someone to get in where Troll Elder is standing. Actually, Doom jumps in front in the beginning, which is kind of the saving grace here.
But still, that's not... Lucky for Shake is not, still doesn't make that it's good positioning.
Yeah.
And he does still get demolished by Jinsu. Jinsu's power is still very, very strong. And now Shake's gonna go out. Hosanna does stay alive once again, sitting on 4 HP. Shredded Jinsu, your cannon bomb run going up to the top of the leaderboard. Jinsu loses 3 HP off of that one.
As close as it gets.
Like
almost
1
a draw
HP.
there.
Yeah, 1 HP on that Berserker there.
Yeah, Jinsu looking pretty strong here. Similar board to what Shredded is working with currently. 2 Hunter Warrior players once more, going pretty well. Nice items there on Dwarf Sniper. I like that he's put some anti-magic damage, especially in this game on Dwarf Sniper with those Tutorial Elders and the early Shining Dragon pulse of damage. You really want to protect it so you can actually deal the most of the damage during the game.
Going up against Ken right now. Second place player still. Okay, Ken's actually the front line. The unit on the left side got demolished pretty quickly, and now it's just the back line's hunters dealing heavy damage to Yaken, so he's going to stay alive, but Hosanna does finally meet his match. The Assassins getting 5th place. I honestly think that's the best that you can expect from that composition.
Yeah, Hosanna may be playing... He's playing a little bit of a meme build now that he was pretty much out.
Well, no, because I think he could have advanced if he won this game. And so the fact that he chose to go Assassins to try and go for that Hail Mary play is a questionable play at best, if I do say so myself. But
Jinsu has so many items.
yeah, a lot of items there.
We can see Shredded actually has 3 Frantic Masks on his Dwarf Sniper also. It's currently busted.
Keep that thing silenced.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
you
he's gonna
dare.
shut up, that's for sure.
Don't you dare say a single word right now. Let's see how much damage you can do up against Jinsu's own Warrior Hunter build.
Right. Does actually have an item there next to Dwarf Sniper. I wonder where he's gonna find that. There's a magic stuff.
He doesn't. What's he gonna put that on?
Oh yeah, it's 1-star Soul Reaper, not so crazy maybe. Does win against Jinsu pretty easily actually.
Yeah.
So good on Shredded here. I think this is locked Shredded into actually moving on to the grand finals, if I'm not mistaken, with that top 4 position.
Yeah, I think he was in a good spot.
Our Math Man is
Mathman
nodding here. Yeah,
he's pretty confident, and actually he did also destroy Jinsu with 8 units alive on Jinsu's board. So Jinsu, of course, obviously with the weaker Hunter Warrior build. What can Jinsu do though to try and turn this back into a top 2, top 1 if possible?
It's a good question. It's going to have a tough time against Shredded. It's not particularly... Like, Storm Shaman is not particularly perfect against that setup, as it's mostly physical damage, and you don't really need most of the spells from the Hunter build.
I mean, you silence Sniper.
It is going to be stronger against protecting yourself against Boomerang, so when both Shredded and Jinso potentially goes lower in HP, maybe that's going to be a saving grace for him, as he's not going to lose as much life against Shredded, for example, so I don't know how it's going to continue. I would assume both of them tries to go to 9 pretty quickly, and then adds something.
Yeah, we did see Bomberman go to 9 very, very early, but then everyone else has been slower on the upkeep, slower on the momentum in order to get there. Bomberman is doing a lot of rolling right now, trying to get the upgrades, and that includes a 3-star Water Spirit. He got a 2-star Storm Shaman as well, but he's probably going to wait until he's level 10 to bring that unit in, because there's really nothing to remove from this team composition. It's already so powerful.
Yeah, this is looking really good. I love the Water Spirit, as we were talking about. It's also really good at killing the backline, like those Dwarf Snipers, for example. Controlling your opponent's front line with that Spirit stun, together with the Thunder Spirit. I've been liking it a lot.
Double Ghost Ship does come in on both sides, but I was going to say the damage from Bomberman looked to be good at the start, and it does seem like he is going to survive, but just barely shredded. Dwarf Sniper almost turned it back into his favor, but Bomberman's going to continue on his win streak. It's only 3 at this point. He did lose a couple of rounds ago, but still 89 HP is a good life total to have right now.
Yeah, so we're going to go over to Chikwan in a moment. And what's set up? So there's the Dragon Mage, right? And then we have Hunter, Warriors, another Hunter Warrior player. What's Chikwan playing? Is that the Glacial? That is a Glacial Knight player, right? So it does actually make sense that Boomerang keeps that Storm Shaman on the board for now. But it deals a lot of damage with the mages, but it doesn't really have the best matchup for it. It doesn't have any other mage player to shut down with that Storm Shaman.
So would he not want to replace that with a Dark Spirit when it comes to it?
Yeah, he could, but I don't know. It is not great actually against Hunter. It is good against Knights, but with 6 mages, that's just so much damage with the magic damage, and it's actually not impacting Dark Spirit's extra damage.
So it's important, I guess the point is, to have options on your sideboard for whatever you go up against at the very end. Because honestly, when you know who you're going up against, you can tailor your composition so much greater towards that composition, towards your opponent, towards your enemy, and actually Bomberman hitting level 10. Is definitely going to be a good upgrade towards that. Shredded does go to level 9, and he does throw in, Bomberman does throw in that Storm Spirit once he hit that level 10.
Yeah, Storm Shaman and Thunder Spirit and all of that good jazz. So looking really powerful here, for sure. Yeah, the only thing it's really looking for is upgrading that God of Thunder, and it's not really going to be an issue now that it's level 10. And with a bank too, and of course not only money bank, but also health bank.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. Ooh, I say that. It's getting a little close, but the Ghost Ship does stall out the Hunters from Jinsu enough to allow the Tortola Elder ultimate to come in, and there it is. It wasn't a burst in the very beginning, but it was a burst at the end. Jinsu also loses his own board. Level 3 Knights reigning supreme. Shredded also lost down to 2 HP himself. Who's it going to be? Who is going to go out first? Jinsu or Shredded? It could be decided within a matter of seconds next time around. Shredded going in for a positioning rearrangement to save himself from defeat. Does he... Okay, so he doesn't have an opportunity for 4 Marines. That's why he's keeping the Abyssal Crawler on the sideboard, but it's still... He leveled up to level 9 to put in a 1-star Dwarf Sniper. That's a little, I guess, desperate.
Yeah, a little iffy. The only thing you can really hope for here is that this lone sniper could maybe revert an opponent's Tortola Elder ult or something like that, but it's not going to play against that now. It's going to play against Knights, and this 3-star Knights is just going to demolish him.
Yeah, he's done. He's getting taken out. He's going out in 4th. But Jinsu also loses. Jinsu goes out first. Jinsu's out in 4th place. Shredded is out in 3rd, and that may be the deciding factor on who qualifies and who does not. But we are down to the last 2 players, Bomberman and Yaken. Bomber with 89% HP still. Yaken, though, with 58. That is also a good amount. And I'm not exactly sure who has the better composition at this specific point in time.
Right. Both players has tons of health and actually quite a big of a bank. So this is really Gonna come down
Buckle up,
to,
boys. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it's gonna be not only it's gonna be a long one, but it's gonna be able. It's gonna make it so that both players can kind of tailor their army towards your opponents. I think we're gonna see Jaquan move towards some marine units to add to his setup, but especially he needs to level up before it's too late. He needs to get to 10 as well. Start with 9, of course, and then. Only then can he really move in for those marine units. In the meantime, I think he should move towards 6 knights. 6 knights are really good at protecting themselves against that initial burst damage.
Yeah, actually, is it possible to slot in even level 1 marine synergy in a glacial knight build? That seemed a little kind of off the wall.
It is definitely possible, but only if you go up to level 9 or 10.
Level 9 or 10? Okay.
Yeah. But this is something you have to think about, because in this late game scenarios, when both players has a bank and has tons of gold, that's what you gotta do.
I do think, though, that your flex unit, being the Storm Shaman, is probably the stronger position personally, but it doesn't matter because his units are getting destroyed. You can the mages, Dragon Mage is doing too much damage. He's going to be taking a lot off of this, even with the Fortune Teller shield. However, he's winning on Bomberman's board.
Yeah, very surprising.
I mean, there is a little bit of RNG in the Knight Shields and how they work, so that's certainly going to be a factor in this. But Bomberman's winning streak was shut down once again. But the health, there's still more than enough time for changes to happen. You can with the 2-star Storm Shaman. That actually could be the difference, because Storm Shaman, if I'm not mistaken, was deleted very quickly at the beginning of the last fight.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. 2-star Storm Shaman is really good against the 6 mages. Probably the best units to have, honestly, except, of course, for something like the Marine bonus. However, we see Boomerang actually finding Shining Dragon 3, and this is one of the most underappreciated units. I heard Excalibur say earlier, and I do really agree with him. This unit is especially good when you have both maximum upgrades in terms of synergy, and what I mean by that is having 6 mages to allow it to deal as much possible, and of course the dragon increase.
So it looks like both players are going to be winning their respective boards. No damage is going to be traded either way.
Yeah, and it's got a fun too to put a nail in the coffin here, but the nail is going to take a while to kind of puncture through the board. It's going to be, know what I mean. There's a lot of help for Jaquan to work with, and also Jaquan, he has a lot more to be gained from this game.
Yes, that's true, but here's my question to you though. Are we going to see Roshan?
Last time I said yes, we were very close, so I don't even know if I dare saying that. I've never seen it in a competitive game so far.
No, but look at the health that both of these players have and how back and forth they've been going. Even when they lose by like 1 or 2 units and take little damage, especially considering the Fortune Teller shield on the side of Yaken. So this might be the longest game that we've seen, but we're going to have to wait to see what happens when we get there. The AoE damage going back and forth on both sides, on both boards. I don't know who's coming out on top. I think it's going to be Bomberman winning both boards, but just barely on Yaken's side. The spirit bonus, though, constantly turning the Hell Knight to stone. Let that man attack.
Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, you might be right. It seems like the same units end up staying on the board both games, 2 games in a row here, with Hell Knight being stuck on the Water Spirit and Dragon Knight kind of sitting there attacking him slowly down with all those Night Shields. So we could see Roshan actually. I would love to. There's only 11 more rounds, right?
Yeah.
Only 11 more rounds.
Only 11. So there's a random Shining Assassin on the sideboard. Don't exactly know what that's doing there, but Yaken, his economy is good, and how long it's going to take for this match to finish, there is a real possibility that he could easily go up to level 10. What unit should he bring in, though, to help counter out Bomberman? Because I think the Marine bonus, you'd have to remove Storm Shaman to introduce that in, and I think Storm Shaman is likely stronger.
No, yeah, you might be right. Either remove it, I guess it's close, really, but I think you could also add more Knights into your build. You can go up to 6 Knights with Dragon Knight and Argali Knights. But at 10 is a little harder to find Argali Knight, so maybe just getting in like a strong legendary unit of some sort. Maybe get like a Tsunami Stalker 2-star or kind of whatever to just get that extra. Does actually find a Tsunami Stalker 2-star here, and it's gonna put that in. What did he remove for the Tsunami Stalker?
I didn't exactly see.
Let's have a look.
I wonder what... No, because we were just looking at his board. I should definitely know what he would have removed. Either way, a reposition from Yaken. This, of course, is because of round 40, and that might be why he brought in the Tsunami Stalker. He took out the Storm Spirit. Right. I don't know if that Storm Spirit's going to stay removed. It might, though. Is Storm Spirit a big counter to Knights?
He still has his Thunder Spirit, right?
Yeah. That's true. Well, but the Divinity bonus is not activated.
Right. Maybe he has had it for this Glacial Clan round. I'm gonna get to have a look in this next round. What he's working with. He still has 6 mages in play, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's level 10. There's a lot of room for him to maneuver. He's even picking up an extra Dragon Knight in case it does get to the point that he can make it a 3-star. And he knows just as well as we do that this game is likely going to last a long time because of how close the metrics are. Yaken, what did he just sold something. Well, either way, he threw in a Desperate Doctor.
Yeah.
What did he replace? It was the Defector.
Right. Sure.
That's my assumption. Either way, the Tsunami Stalker got kept in on Bomberin's board.
It makes sense.
That's actually might be what wins him the round. It wins him on his board, and it looks like he's going to win on Yaken's board as well. So
smart.
What we were thinking was going to be a back and forth looks to be leaning basically every single time on Bomberin's side.
Yeah. But Bomberin is not winning by a lot, and Bomberin has kind of hit his peak if he's not going to get more 3-stars. Yaken is slowly working towards and he is level 10 now, so you can add even another unit. So Bomberin, actually, I think Bomberin has more power level to be gained so far. I'm not sure about the Shining Assassin either. Can't really tell you why that's there. I'm sure he's going to sell it soon, but I also like the Tsunami Stalker instead of the Storm Shaman because the silence doesn't really stop his opponent from attacking. And they're kind of moving around a lot, and they're well spread, so it's not going to deal the perfect damage. And as you saw, Tsunami Stalker stunned everyone.
Look at that into a Ghost Ship stun as well. There's not a lot that Yaken's board is doing on either side. He's actually going to take a lot of damage on his own board. He's able to, I guess, just barely not win on Bomberin's side of the board, but still... This is...
Yeah, good addition there.
At this point, I'm actually thinking that Roshan's appearance is getting less and less likely.
Yeah. As I talked about earlier, Yaken does have the higher potential here, but he doesn't have an infinite amount of time to get there. So it's going to be... He seems to be even pressured more by this Tsunami Stalker being an upgrade from the Storm Shaman. We'll see. Also, if Boomerang does hit this God of Thunder 2-star, that's going to be a big upgrade as well. So there's definitely that to be added into the equation.
This was a good read by Bomberin. You saw him maneuver his positioning, but was it good enough, actually? The positioning by Yaken seems to have overtaken Bomberin on Bomberin's board. Even the 3-star Water Spirit can't do a lot against both of these 3-star Knights. And Bomberin's going to lose on his own board, take a little bit of damage, but Yaken also lost by 1 unit.
1 unit.
Still, that's minimal damage. That's the least damage that you can take. What are your thoughts on this positioning, though? Because we see Yaken just change into this positioning the last round.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything like this, honestly. But it seems to be working out for him. If his opponent is on the right corner, he kind of wants him... Since Lightblade Knight has kind of low attack range, it's going to move... Okay, so he does move that... It's a little hard to say. He really wants to try to spread out so he doesn't get hit by the Ghost Ship, for example, in the Troll Elder as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of hard to avoid the Tsunami Stalker at this point. It's just too wide of a range.
And it is hard to avoid that Ghost Ship. You saw actually his units basically walk into it on Bomberin's board. It's going to be close who wins once again on either side, but I think Bomberin's going to win both boards.
But still, just 1 unit.
Still,
and we're going into round 45 now.
So yeah, I mean, guys, Roshan's possible. Yaken has been losing almost every single round, but it's by 1 or 2 units. What?
We're getting closer to Pirate Captain
3-star Pirate Captain, let's go.
Something I've never seen, ever, actually. Never, ever. Not even in any of my games.
Yeah. I mean, it is a rarity to find.
Yeah.
Any sort of level 3 2-star is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's both players are gonna win against the IMBs, I believe, pretty easy. Maybe the mage player could have a bit more trouble.
Actually,
yeah, it's gonna be close.
Bomber may be losing this one.
Yeah.
It's easy for Yaken with the auto attacks from all the
sure.
different knights, but it looks like Bomber is going to lose this one, which means that he doesn't get an item off of this, while Yaken does, and that's going to be a good bonus for Yaken to try and turn back into his favor.
For sure. Let's have a look and see what Chikwen can build. And I kind of want to see how much of a carry both of the knights are. Both
That's
the
true,
Light
yeah.
Blade.
If it's possible to see the items on both of those units. The Hell Knight and the Light Blade Knight, to see how much of a carry, as you say, that they are going to be. But, oop, that's a level 2 Dragon Knight.
Ooh, and an egg.
Egg, there it is,
Hey.
the level 3 Pirate Captain.
That is so cool. Look
Yeah.
at him. Look at that hat.
What is that? What does that change about the ability, though?
I don't know. I don't care. Look
It's
how
just,
cool
I mean,
it is.
yeah, it's lower. It's a lower cooldown. That's I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing. So it means that potential 2 ghost ships in a single round, which could be huge. It's a massive AoE stun, and the damage, of course, on the unit is even bigger. But oh, look at the AoE coming up from Bomberin on both boards.
Wow. Yeah, that's God of Fun. They dealt so much damage this round. Also, not only does it have lower cooldown, but you have more health on your unit, right? That means that he could get it off twice, but actually, Jiquen wins on both sides of the board. We're getting closer to Roshan.
Yaken wins, still at 18 HP. Bomberin at 61 HP. It's been chipped down slower and slower.
Dark Spirit 2 actually has been found, so are we gonna see it instead of Tsunami Stalker?
I don't know, because the stun by Tsunami Stalker has actually done a lot. It's stalled the game out enough, combined with the Ghost Ship, to give the Tortola Elder the time. Oh, but that's a 3-star Storm Spirit on Yaken's side.
Storm Shaman on 3-star is so insane. Like, it deals so much damage, but also it almost can consistently silence your all your opponents.
It was the Water Spirit. He brought out the Water Spirit for the Dark Spirit.
Oh yeah, that does make sense. Also keeping the Spirit bonus.
Look at that. He's actually winning handedly on his own board, Bomberin is. But Yaken's also winning on his own board. So again, no damage. We are getting so close to Roshan. But here's the thing. It halves your health. And so even though that does bring Yaken even lower than he is right now, in certain ways, this is actually going to be good for Yaken. Because that's 30 damage to Bomberin.
Yes.
That's a 3-star Berserker and a 3-star Dragon Knight. We have never seen this many 3 stars in a single match, and it's only because of how long this game is going. In fact, because of the 3-star
Berserker. What is this?
Getting to the backline. He's getting to the backline.
It's smart, but I've never seen it before. It being 3-star means it also has enough health to go back there. Look how it blinked back into the backline there. And 3-star, that means you're gonna get the Frost Dragon. It's gonna slow down his opponents. Working kind of like a poisonous worm, if you will, but, you know, a little better.
But the 3-star Dragon Knight is still doing a lot of work for the side of Yaken. And he actually took 7 damage off of that, even with the Fortune Teller Shield, because the remaining units were all 3 stars.
Yeah, and it makes sense since those are going to be the units with the most amount of health to survive in the
Shining Assassin, because why not?
Because why not? Is that only for him to try to get into the backline and kill something off? I don't really understand the addition here. I'm a little scared that it's going to put this in and it's going to make him lose the round, so we're not going to see Roshan. That would be the most anticlimactic way to... Oh, it does find the Siren instead, and then that I feel a lot better about.
It's not the full Marine bonus that you were suggesting him to take, but the ultimate from the Siren could change things for him. We see the CC working very well for Bomber inside. The Teleport Dagger bringing the Berserker to the backline on both boards, but the auto attacks are not going towards the mages. But it does seem that the Knights are winning. On both sides, look at the Knights winning.
Oh no, it does seem like Boomerang is going to win on Jaquan's side, but this is not going to be enough to finish off. And you know what that means? We're going to see
ladies and gentlemen,
Roshan in a competitive game.
Yaken goes down below 10 HP. And it's honestly all because of the Fortune Teller. If he did not have Fortune Teller...
Wait, was Pirate Captain not a part of this last game?
Was he not?
Maybe.
He must have been. Why
would put him in again?
So he's going back and forth on whether he prefers the Pirate Captain or the Water Spirit. The Water Spirit's ability...
so many items. Look at him.
That's true. Just, you know what? I know it's hard to sell a level 3 unit, but you might want to consider selling that. But the Water Spirit's ability to go to the back line has won him a couple of rounds. But here it is, Roshan.
I've never seen Roshan in a I'm okay, this might be the fourth time I say it, but this is something special.
Yeah.
You never see this, ever. Like, even if you played this game for months, you're not going to see a Roshan.
It's very rare to hit round 50. But again, does this open up this game even more for your Ken because it halves Bomberen's health?
It does. I mean, it does for sure. This is... I mean, it barely deals any damage to Jiquen here, and it deals massive amount of damage.
What items did they get? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
what items were they able to get off of that?
So there's an Ice Armor on Jiquen, but I think he already had that from beforehand.
Please sell the Water Spirit. He has way too many items right now, and honestly, I think the 3-star
I agree.
Pirate Captain is so much better. However, with the Water Spirit, that's the Spirit bonus, and we've seen the Spirit bonus kind of ruin Hell Knight previously, so that's why he's going back and forth on it.
But it still has the Spirit bonus from the Dark Spirit. That's the Thunder Spirit.
You're right.
So
The Dark Spirit and the Thunder Spirit.
Yeah, it does have way less health, however, and less survivable than Water Spirit. So it's not gonna. It's gonna prolong the amount of you stun your opponent if you have the Water Spirit in play. But oh, this is gonna be close.
This is actually looking really good for Bomberen on both boards. I say that the Siren Ult comes out on Bomberen's board.
Yeah, it actually seems like Jiquen is going to hold on his side of the board.
On both sides,
actually defeat Bomberen on his side of the board. So taking 32 damage there from the Roshan situation, and Jiquen being down to 4%. This is so close. Has a bunch of Troll Elders moving towards that 3-star.
I mean, at this point in the game, you just got to go 3-star of everything because that's the only thing you can spend your money on. But yes, your Ken was dropped down to 4 HP because of the Roshan. We were talking about how it deals more damage to Bomberen than to your Ken. But this means that he can survive maybe one round. In fact, it's unlikely that he'll be able to survive even a single round loss, which means that he cannot make a single mistake. He's been holding strong the previous round. Can he do it a second time?
Yeah, it does move in for that Water Spirit there in the end, valuing it with his items over the Dark Spirit. And as you said earlier, I would really like him to sell it and move those items over before.
Knight, can you solo? Can you 1v2? I don't think it's gonna be enough.
No.
Is Jiquen
That's gonna be it. Jiquen is gonna be out here, I'm pretty sure.
And that's it. 53
rounds. What a game.
53 rounds, and Bomberen holds strong. Jiquen took him to the limit.
It took me to the limit.
Took all of us to the limit.
And honestly, guys, I'm looking behind us here. It's like almost standing room only. The entire venue here, very interested in that game. All the players coming back from behind the stage to see what was going on, and gosh, really cool to see Ken just last as long as he did. He was just refusing to give up, and honestly implementing a lot of cool strategies just to stick around as long as he did, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, I love this kind of late game scenarios. It really tests the players and their experience, especially because you don't get these situations very often. And even before Roshan, right? Even those kind of late game scenarios where you have to tinker and tailor your build, you can see them going back and forth between Dark Spirit and the Water Spirit, and you can even rebuild half your army because it's going to last for so many rounds with so much extra money. So really cool to see one of those games.
Yeah, we did actually see a little more experimentation on the side of Bomberen, and that's mostly because he had so much health. Like he had the space to work with to figure out what exactly he needed, because it got to the point that he just needed to beat Ken like 3 or 4 times, and then he needed to lose his board like 12 times.
It was crazy.
But then, you have the health split in half, like in a weird way. Like there's a way to come back there if you had just been able to pull off a miracle. That would have been incredible to see. But that's why you stick in there, because you never know if you can make it work.
Especially the game saying of like, you guys gotta. You gotta finish your game. This is enough. We have other things.
We have a whole second semifinal to get to. Let's wrap this up.
Exactly. That's definitely the longest match that we've seen here this weekend. I think before yesterday we saw a match go all the way to 45 or 46.
It's the longest competitive match I've seen in my entire life.
I think it's the longest competitive. I think that is the record.
I think this is the longest competitive match I've ever been.
Have you all seen Roshan in a game that you've played personally?
I've seen it No.
I'm
sitting on YouTube.
usually good enough to win within like 35 rounds.
Of course you are, yeah.
All right.
I knew that.
You too, yeah, right?
Right.
Well, I know everyone's excited to see who is top 4. I think we have match results coming momentarily, but really competitive there in the first round there of our first semifinal. Again, the top 4 will be advancing to tomorrow into the final, guaranteeing themselves at least $18,000. It's a huge deal. And of course, as you mentioned, after this, we're going to move into our second semifinal to find out who are going to be the next 4 players advancing into tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow is going to be our grand final, where it's going to be 8 players in total competing for, again, that first place prize of $450,000. So a lot of money on the line for these guys, and I wonder if we have match results incoming. I mean, I have it in front of me, but I don't really want to spoil it.
Yeah.
I want to keep it dramatic right now because it's kind of fun. Yeah, I know. The dramatics are fun. But, you know, what else are you guys reflecting on, especially like looking towards tomorrow for some of these players?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty clear Jinsu made it through, and that's all I'm really going to say. But, you know, based on what we've seen here in this first semifinal, we saw a lot of mage play there. Yeah. I mean, we saw the assassins come out weirdly. We saw the feather play work out for Azu in the last game, but not in this one. So based on what we've seen today, what are you kind of looking forward to tomorrow, or some light expectations for now?
I think everything is open. This has really been a testament to that. Before yesterday, I should say, Dragon Mages wasn't really a thing, and it's really come back in full force. It's been doing it really well, especially in these 2 last games, right? So I feel like every comp that we know of, that we have known to be competitive, are all available at this point.
And that was not the leaderboard, whatever it was. But
we'll get that updated.
As you said, everything is open except assassins.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Everything.
Except everything but assassins. That's
what's a favorite strategy from those 4 games that we saw? So, you know, obviously we had some Fallen Witch action yesterday.
Which is shocking because Dragon Mage was so unsuccessful yesterday.
Yeah.
We saw, I think, literally only one semi-successful Dragon Mage composition, but today it was Dragon Mage all the time, which is kind of shocking, especially considering that Knight's Glacial, one of the reasons why they're so strong is because they don't really have a counter, including Dragon Mage, because the Knight Shield tends to be enough. But every single time we saw that matchup, it was Dragon Mage coming out on top.
I'm actually thinking that the second mage game that they win was the God Mages, and they have started to become a little bit more or less popular, but they actually are a counter to the Glacier Knight players. So I would really want to see more of Knight Glacier in the next couple of games. Or
well, I mean, honestly,
God Mages, sorry.
Sure, and in the semifinal to come too, which obviously has, you know, the other players were watching that super closely, and of course going into the finals. So a lot of exciting action to come. Here you can see the bracket, and now we know who's advanced to the finals: Jinsu, Bomberon, Chuck, and Shredded. Of course, Shredded with the dual citizenship, Pakistan and United States. So technically 2 representatives from the United States. I think the upset there would be Hosanna, really not able to make it through.
Yeah.
Azu, really cool to see him fight. Pull out the feather strategy in the last game, but unfortunately for him, he just barely wasn't able to make it through. And I'll give some detailed point breakdowns here. Jinsu with 22 points, and there is Bomberon in second with 21. There's actually a tie for third and fourth, which is pretty interesting because if Bomberon had ended up getting second to Yaken there, he would have been tied with Shredded and Chuck, which could, you know, it's
3-way tie.
Kind of curious. I guess it doesn't matter as much because there's not necessarily seeding.
I don't think it would have changed
tomorrow,
anything,
but it's still interesting how it's just locked. And all these guys are, how close this competition is. For sure. Great to see. Which means, of course, Hosanna, Azu, Shake, and Yaken. They're going to be going home. They got $8,000 each, though. Not too bad at all. And, of course, they'll be fighting in the auto chess genre as competitions continue forward. So really cool to see all this competition on stage. And before we head out, guys, thanks for hanging out today. Looking towards the next group. Yeah. What do you guys, based on what we've seen here, what are we kind of looking out for in your opinions?
Every kind of comp, God Divinity for me. I would really like to see some more of that. It does take a pretty special start to get into that, and you kind of need the God of Thunder in the late game, but if you do get there, I think it's fantastic.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit more of a Glacial Knights on the next semifinal.
Well, we have Lucky playing.
Yeah, because we did see it a lot more. I believe it was Group C specifically that was like the Glacial Knight group. So we may see a little more of that. But other than that, I mean, as you said, Joel,
quick
everything's
rundown of
open.
It's going to be Archdevil, Psycho, Philip, Lucky, Nudge, WK the Spaniard, Sweet Pea, Land from South Korea, and Kong from China. So that's who we're seeing coming up here.
Exciting group.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. I don't know what to call synergy wise and like meta wise, because what we expected from this semifinal was not exactly the case. We thought we'd see a lot more early game aggression, and we did see a little bit of it, but it wasn't fully early game aggression. No. It was a lot more just like a mixed bag of variety, like even across the board. So that's what I'm gonna. That's
well,
that's my guess for semifinal.
What about
two?
like regional characteristics that we're kind of seeing? Like I know you mentioned Bomberon, you know, kind of maybe a Japanese style of play, or are we seeing anything like that? Any really different strategies coming out from each of these regions?
If there's anything, that would be the Koreans that have kind of played everything, basically everything, and the things we didn't see from the other groups, like Fallen Witcher play, we saw them do a lot more God Mages, Divinity, and so that's super cool to see, and it's kind of opening up the metagame a little bit, even a little bit more. Yeah. You're really showing how like well balanced this game is, and you can pretty much do well with anything at this point.
All right, well, we're halfway through. Here's a look at your bracket. Coming up next, we have Group B action, the next semifinal coming your way here from the $1 million 2019 Auto Chess Invitational.